Happy day 14. Today we will work a little bit more with internal rotation of the shoulder and being able to reach back behind us. As always, don't push into pain. It'll be helpful to have two really firm blocks if you have them, and a band. And if you have a resistance band, this will just make it a little bit harder in a nice way. So you can use that or a classic yoga strap or a belt. I'm going to sit in Virasana to start. So I have the block widthwise underneath both sitting bones. Between my feet there, you can pull the outer calf out. And if Virasana is not comfortable for you, sit comfortably. You can sit in a chair for this part of the sequence, or cross-legged. Do what's appropriate for you. But if you are able to, this is a great range of motion to maintain in our ankles and knees. And just taking a comfortable seat, see if you can balance the 4 points of your pelvis. So front and back body, pubic bone and tailbone. And side to side, your two sitting bones. And just coming into this present moment of whatever part of the day you are practicing in, and fully entering into this space to be here with your body. And tuning in with your breathing, feeling that little coolness in your sinuses on your inhale, and some warmth on your exhale. And letting your breathing naturally start to expand a little bit. Good. And then just resting your hands down by your sides. Maybe you can reach out towards the floor, shrug your shoulders up, take them wide apart and down your back. Squeeze them together and up and wide apart and down. One more time in this circular direction, just seeing how much can you move your shoulder blades, and then reverse the circle together and down your back, wide apart and up. 2 more times in that direction. Good. And then bending your elbows, thumbs to your shoulder cap. We'll paint big circles with our elbows, starting to encourage a little more movement at the shoulder cap. And then go ahead and reverse into the opposite direction. And just seeing if you can keep a balance between the front and backs of your rib cage. Reach your hands back in space now behind you, and then just go for a couple of rotations, internal and external rotation with the arms back behind you. Again, staying pain-free, and then take your arms to shoulder height and go for a few rotations there. And then up to a V. This is where it'll get a little harder to maybe find that movement. And then melt it down. Good. From here, you'll take your arms back out to the side and pretend like you have water in your fingertips and start flicking the water off. And then reach the arms forward and make that stop motion. Spread the thumb away from the pointer finger. Pull the back of your hand towards your face. And then curl thumb in, curl your fingertips around, and draw your knuckles to the floor. Keeping your elbows the same, you can rock your hands towards each other and away from each other to just change the line of tension at the back of the wrist. Again, not pushing into pain. Broadening your back ribs. And then neutral wrist. Coming back up into extension, spread your fingertips apart and really opening up the palm. Good. And then take your hands in front of your heart at Namaste and draw your inner wrist towards the floor to go for a stretch. Press the pads of your fingertips together. Now we're strengthening the wrist flexors while they're in their lengthened position. And then start to pull your fingertips apart from each other. And then really go for pulling the wrist down, the fingertips apart. And then see if you can separate your hands and maintain that angle at your wrist. And then release and relax and let that go. Okay, we'll do a little wiggling from all fours. So you'll just come forward to all fours, move your stuff out of the way, and then we'll come and sit one more time and use the band. I just want to give our legs a little stretch out. So you can tuck one toe under and then the other, and we'll spend a little time in all fours. So pad your knees as you need, and you can do this with your hands on a chair, the back of the chair for a little more height even. And if you are on the floor, we'll just take a moment to rock the hips back, come onto your forearms, and then just see how loud can you smack the floor with your hands. And as you lift your elbows up, can you keep smacking the floor with your hands? And can you keep that going even as you shift your hips forward? Keep going, keep going. Barely makes a noise. And then we'll release. And re-broaden across the hands, push into the pads of the fingertips and come forward to all fours. Boone's excited for our floor smacking. Okay, and then round your spine to the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone towards the floor. Take a big round of breath in and out. And then let your belly come down to the floor. Your shoulder blades melt together. Come for your spinal extension. Big breath in and out. One more time, round. And one more time, dropping the breastbone forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep your shoulder blades squeezed together and just tuck your tailbone and round your lower back, and then unravel a couple times. Keep the pads of your fingertips heavy, and just seeing if you can move the spine. Well, we're involving the pelvis too in 2 chunks. And then next you can come all the way up through the upper back. And just one more time, pausing here, make your hands and shins heavy, really reaching down into the floor. Good. Okay, and then let's come up to downward dog. So you can walk back from your chair, or classic dog pose here, taking any sort of wiggles, bending one knee and then the other, and reaching up long through your hips. Good, and then Uttanasana, walking your hands and feet together. Come for your forward fold. And then here, it's your choice. You can come up with a flat spine or bend your knees, tuck your tailbone towards the floor and round up through your spine. As you come to stand, sweep your arms up and overhead. And then exhale to float your hands down in front of your heart. Take an inhale here. And then exhale to release and relax your hands by your sides. Okay, we are going to do a little shoulder work standing now. So from here, we'll take the arms out to the side and then bend your elbows so that I call this a cactus shape. And then from this, keep your elbow at the same point, and you can internally rotate, taking your fingertips towards the floor, and externally rotate fingertips back up to the ceiling. So go one more time like that. And then we'll take one arm down, one arm up, so that we are doing the opposite with each shoulder, and then switch, and switch. Okay, we'll switch, and then this time sneak your hands behind your back body. So really engage through the front of your body, and then you're just sneaking your hands behind pelvis and head, and then coming back out, and switch, and sneak behind, coming towards the midline, and then back out and switch. Good, go one more round in each direction. Go slow as you'd like here, so that you can maintain that quality of movement and then release and melt it down. Okay, let's do a longer held Gomukhasana stretch with the resistance band if you have it, or a yoga strap. So I'm gonna take the resistance band in my right hand and take it up and behind my head, and then internally rotate the left arm and feed it up as close as I can on the resistance band. And then the resistance band makes this a little bit harder because it's stretchy, right? So if you get a little wobbly, a little shaky here, then that's good. We're building some new strength and also just a connection to this part of our mobility that brain-body connection we're always going for. So you're reaching your top elbow up and your bottom elbow down. And then can you really find the stability and strength between breastbone and pubic bone so that your front body doesn't change as you try to hover the strap away from your body. And then let it melt back towards you. And hover away. I get real shaky. And melt back towards you. And this might be too much, so you just do what's appropriate for you. Otherwise, maybe one more time. And then we'll release and melt that down. Okay, let's do our second side. You take the strap into your left hand and feed it behind your head, or your second side, and then the right hand walks as high up your back as you're able to. And then find a little pull out on the resistance band just to enjoy the that added bonus work there. Your top elbow's reaching up, your bottom elbow's reaching down. Can you feel your bottom arm, that collarbone really wide? Top arm, the inner shoulder cap softens at all, any amount. And then finding stability and strength at the front body. And can you hover your hands off your back body? So strong front abdominal wall. And to any amount, can you pull the hands away from your head and melt it back on? So it might be just a weight change. Your hands are resting less on your head and your back body. But go for maybe 2 more of those. I can't help but laugh. It just gets so shaky. Just not a range of motion that we challenge ourselves in often, but good to maintain as much range of motion as possible and strength while we're there. Okay, last one. Good, melt, release. Enjoy being done with that. And that's it for the resistance band. So from here, you can just set it off to the side. And yeah, let's just play one more time with rotation. So you're taking your arms straight back behind you in internal rotation, and then just play with external rotation, internal rotation, going a couple rounds. And then the arms float up to shoulder height. And up to the V. How far back can your hands be without pushing your front ribs forward? And then melt your arms down. Good. Okay, let's come and take from the top of the mat, sweeping your arms overhead. And then exhale, Uttanasana, bend your knees a lot. Plant your hands and step back for downward facing dog. Good. Okay, and then coming down, we'll try either Purvottanasana, or you can take belly down in Shalabhasana if Purvottanasana is not a good position for your wrists. So I like to do it on cork blocks. Otherwise, I would do it on the floor. If your foam blocks are quite squishy, it really does not feel good in the wrists. And the whole point of these is to help the wrists. So I have my cork blocks as wide as my yoga mat behind me. And then you'll take your palms on the blocks. Your fingertips can drape over the front edge so that your fingertips are pointing towards your feet. If you want to do this with your hands on the floor, pick the rotation that works well for your wrists. Maybe your fingertips point towards your feet. Maybe they point a little bit more out to the side. It's nice to double check you don't lock out your elbows, especially if you're pretty hypermobile. But you can see what you're going to enjoy, what feels good for your wrists, okay? So hands are a little bit behind the line of your pelvis, and then already here, can you bring the breastbone forward just like we did in our cat-cows, and move the shoulder blades onto your back body, and then find your big toes, find your inner heels, and we're kind of sweeping the tailbone towards the knees to come up into Purvottanasana. And then once you're up, unlock the elbows, move the shoulder blades towards your pelvis, tailbone towards your knees, and lift a little higher. And can you feel that huge stretch on the front of the shoulder cap, a lift of the bottom tip of your breastbone, and a lift of your tailbone towards your knees. Reach from outer heels to big toes. Find that big toe again. Good. and then release and come down. And then you can do a couple up and down where you're rocking your hips in and out of the pose rather than holding it. So all those same ideas of sweeping up, and then you can bend your knees and sweep your pelvis back towards your wrists, and then go up and down a few times, as long as that is fun for you. Otherwise, you could do a static hold of the pose. And like I said, if this is bugging your wrist, it's a huge ask. Then I would skip this pose. You could stand and do it at the wall, or you could do Shalavasana instead. Okay, maybe one last one we hold. If you want to make it a little spicier, you can straighten your legs, lengthen your tailbone towards your feet, lift the breastbone, and then release and relax. Give your wrists a little love, a little shake out. Yeah, lately I don't even take my head back. I find my upper back is a little stiff these days, and you really want that full arch of the lift of the breastbone before you start to take your head back. So, you can play with that. You kind of keep a little double chin action going for as long as possible before you lift the gaze so that you stay long through the back of the neck as you lower back. But for a lot of people, that can be kind of triggering, kind of intense. So you just have to monitor that and see what feels good for your body. Okay, do we catch our breath? That was the last official pose of work, but it might feel nice to do one more symmetrical pose that feels good to you. So maybe downward dog or child's pose, or just sitting for a couple breaths. I think your wrists will tell you what to do too. So just taking a couple breaths in one last pose of your little mini sequence here. And then coming down. Thanks for joining in here with me and getting our blood pumping. Feels great. I hope you feel ready for your day, your afternoon, wherever this video may find you. All right, thank you so much.